Okay, I'm going to begin my review of the Z-code system with a brief overview of the members area because there's so much included in the membership. And then after that, I will get into the sports trader software specifically because that's primarily what I use. As you can see, even though I joined Zcode in 2024, I'm still considered a level one rookie. I personally rely solely on their automated picks. I don't try to create my own winning algorithms like expert members do. But that's why I think it's important to point out that you don't have to be an expert to take advantage of the software and the tools in here. You can be a total beginner like I was and still get a ton of value from this. Okay, so when you first log in, you'll be brought to this overview page here, and you'll want to go through each of these steps. I know there's a lot here, but this gives a much more in-depth look at what's included and how to get started than what I can cover in this video. And most importantly, going through this overview will set you up for success. Don't just dive in without going through this. I know you're going to be super eager to start placing bets, but my advice is to spend day one going through each of these steps so you really have an understanding of everything that's here and what would best be suited for you. Okay, so look at this menu. There's a lot going on here. Bear with me while I briefly run through it. VIP picks are where experts report on their picks and where you can see posts from any experts that you decide to follow. Hot trends is exactly what the name suggests. These are both automatic and expert systems, which are hot right now. Bookies is a list of their suggested online bookmakers to open accounts with, and they list which countries are accepted by each of them. Z-Lab is where the magic happens. This first option explains how to use Z-Lab. Trend Builder is what you use if you want to build your own systems, and Almanac is where you can backtest your own systems. Now, like I said, I don't build my own systems, which is why Sports Trader is my favorite, and I'm going to come back to this and show you how I use it. Contests are a list of the current contests that are being run. Tutorials, I mean, look at this, guys. There's so much information here, guides, videos, FAQs. Seriously, this knowledge bank is so extensive. If you ever get stuck or really want to go from beginner to expert, the answers are in here. Apps are where you can download their apps, both Android and iPhone. Bonus tools is insane. There's the Sports Trader software, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute, but look at all these other tools that are included. I haven't even played around with most of these, to be honest with you, with the exception of the fantasy sports tool. If you are in the US and plays fantasy sports on DraftKings or FanDuel, this tool is great. You can come in here about an hour before start time, and it helps build your optimal wind-up. Okay, and then there are the forum and sports tabs, both of which are pretty self-explanatory. I have to say, though, that the support is great. Like a dingbat, I've managed to lock myself out of my account on 2 occasions, and Annie has gotten me back up and running really fast. All right, well, now that I've got given you guys a brief overview of the membership area, let me show you how I use the Sports Trader software. Because hands down, this software is my favorite part of Zcode. Okay, here I am in the Sports Trader software. This is the web browser version of it. They also have a Windows version and a Mac version if you'd rather download the software to your computer. But I like the browser version, and it also works on tablets. I should point out that Zcode has 2 training videos for this software, a basic and an advanced training up here under video tour. I'm going to show you how I use the software, and you'll notice that I don't play with most of the settings. And the reason for that is, well, because I'm lazy, and so I use the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. But you can definitely do a lot more with this software than what I'm going to show you. Okay, so I'm going to click on Portfolio Advisor to have the software build a sports systems portfolio for me. You just have to answer 4 questions. It's that easy. The first question asks you which sports you want to follow, or you can choose the first option, which means that you're willing to bet on any sports that are covered. I'm going to go ahead and choose a few of these for this example. Okay, question 2 is basically asking you your risk tolerance: conservative, standard, aggressive. I'm going to start by setting up a conservative portfolio just to give you guys an idea of what that would look like. Question 3: how frequently do you want to place bets? This one depends on how busy you are. Again, I'm going to keep it simple and conservative and go with the first option. And lastly, question 4 asks you about the timing of the picks. Basically, how soon after receiving a notification can you place the bet? I'm going to go with the setting that gives me at least a 1 hour warning. Then I'll click on calculate my recommended portfolio. And based on the choices that I entered above, it recommends that I follow these 2 systems. After that, you can come down here and adjust the unit size, which is basically how much money you'll place on each bet. I've entered 10 bucks, so it recommends that my overall starting bankroll to follow these 2 systems be $130. But I can also come in here and change the unit to $5, and now my starting bankroll is only $65. I wouldn't recommend anything under $5 for unit size. Otherwise, you may as well just go play penny slots online. But when you're first starting out and testing the waters and getting a feel for how this works, I think $5 is fine. And then as you get more comfortable with it, you can eventually increase, your unit size. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put mine back to $10. All right, and then it also shows a potential profit chart of your portfolio. And once you're satisfied, you'll want to click Apply Portfolio. But before I do that, let me show you another more aggressive portfolio so you have a better understanding of how to play around with this. So I'm going to stick with the same sports, but this time I'll go a little more aggressive for questions 2 and 3. And now when it calculates my portfolio, it gives me a lot more systems to follow. And it also shows me that I would have to have a much larger initial bankroll to follow all of these systems with a $5 unit size. And that may be okay for you. If you look at the potential profit chart, it's much higher than the initial conservative portfolio that I generated. So you'll want to play around with this a little to get a portfolio that works for you based both on how aggressive you want to be and how much of a starting bankroll you have. Okay, let me go back and change the settings back to the conservative portfolio. Okay, now I'm back to the initial portfolio, and now I'm going to hit apply portfolio. Now we are back to the main screen, and it has populated with data from the portfolio we just generated. This chart here shows how this portfolio has performed over the last year. By following these 2 systems and managing our bankroll, that initial $10 bet would now have grown to $384. Now, I know that's not a life changing amount of money by any means, but remember, this is from a conservative portfolio and a small unit size of $10. If I come down here and change the unit size to $30, you can then see that this same conservative portfolio would have generated over $1,100. So again, it all comes down to following the systems and being honest with how aggressive you want to be and how much of a bankroll you have to start with. I personally would suggest starting slow, build up your bankroll, and then consider increasing your unit size when you feel comfortable with how all of this works. And I'll show you a screenshot of what this would look like with the more aggressive portfolio we built so that you can see the difference. But first, let me show you this section. This shows possible upcoming games for the systems in the portfolio. It doesn't mean that you will necessarily be placing bets on all or any of these games. The algorithms are still looking for signals for value bets for these games. And so you would want to check back about 1 hour before game time to see if the algorithms have generated any recommendations. And you can set up notifications on your computer and your phone so that you don't miss out on any recommendations. Then, once you receive a notification, you would log into your online sportsbook account and place the exact bet that the system recommends. And I do want to emphasize this for a minute. Zcode does not place the bets for you. You still have to log in and place the bet yourself once you receive a recommendation from the software, because Zcode is not an online betting site. Okay, so back to the software. The other thing I want to point out real quick is this section of pass signals. You can see for your portfolio the pass recommendations, um, which the system's generated, the pick, the exact bet it recommended, the unit, the game, and there's also a place to keep track of whether you placed that bet or not. And you can also see whether the pick won or lost. There is full transparency here. So if we scroll, loss, loss, win, 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 loss, win, you get the idea here. But it's important to point out that not every pick wins. And that's why it's so important to manage your bankroll and stick to the systems in your portfolio. Even if we scroll back up here, you can see the overall trend of this portfolio is an upward trajectory, but there are some dips along the way. Okay, so here is a chart showing the 1 year past results of the hypothetical portfolios that were generated, plus a more aggressive one using $10, $30, and $50 unit sizes. And I want to be clear, past performance does not in any way imply future results. I'm simply trying to give you examples of how 3 different portfolios that were generated with the software resulted in different outcomes over the past year using their backtesting data. This does not mean that you will get these same results. It's just an example to give you an idea of what's possible. Again, I would recommend starting small and then work your way up as you become more comfortable with it. So, overall, what is my final takeaway? I'm very happy with the value that the Zcode System membership provides. I think you get a lot of bang for your buck with new features and tools being added. So, who do I think this is for? I think it may be for you if you're currently losing money betting sports on your own, if you have at least $100 for your starting bankroll, if you're disciplined enough to follow their picks, if you want consistent profits more than big thrills, and if you're willing to stick with it for at least 3 months to really give it a try. This is not for you if you're looking to get rich quick. Certainly not for you if you can't afford to bet. It's not for you if you lack discipline to follow a system or if you're expecting to win every bet. If this is the case, this product is definitely not for you, as that is just not realistic. But if you've made it this far, you most likely have the attention span to be successful with the Z Code system. And if you want more information or are looking to join, check out the links in the description below. Thank you for watching and best of luck with your sports betting.